Surprise! Surprise, surprise. So here's an extra bonus bit of video with my visual. Here's one I made earlier. Bella's made an appearance as well in my messy left-handed writing. So I wanted to just briefly summarize this because I suppose you could say what I'm doing for my no spend year. The approach I'm taking is like a kind of three-pronged approach, I guess you could say. So the blue part is the fact that I'm going to be sticking to, as best I humanly possibly can, I am going to be sticking to a very strict budget each week for food, cleaning, toiletries, just any general household essential items like that that fall under that category. I have a lot of painkillers now because I'm not able to take any more at this part of the healing process, even though I'm in so much pain, because it could affect and slow the healing, apparently. So I've probably got a year's supply of painkillers, so I don't think they'll be needed. But anyway, my stuff for Bella's care doesn't fall into this category. So cat food and cat litter and cat treats and things like that aren't included in that weekly budget. Now, for me, my weekly budget that I'm aiming for, my target is £27.50 a week maximum, which doesn't sound like a lot and it's not very much, but I think I can give it a good go because sometimes, maybe once a month or once every couple of months, I'll do an online shop and get a big shop in, at which point I also get Bella's tins of food and any heavy stuff, especially now. But also I can do that and stock up for the heavy things and plan ahead. And then in between times, I would be going and buying reduced price things with the yellow stickers, freezing things, meal planning, batch cooking. So there's different ways to strategize, and in a way I try and gamify it. I try and make it a bit of fun, a bit of a personal challenge to try and push myself, because I know that the closer I can be to that amount, the easier it's going to be for me to try and push forward, to try and get closer to reaching my goals for this year of trying to get the flat decorated and having a wee computer, just something simple, basic and cheap, so that I'm able to actually have my photos in one place at last and just feel a bit more organized and be able to start writing again, all those things that I miss and love to do. So, but I meant to say earlier that a big part of my weekly food budget, a big factor is that I want to make sure every week that I always buy something, either a food item or cleaning or toiletries, or pets, but I want to always make sure I buy an item to donate to the food banks. So by the end of the year, I'll have 52 items, and I don't know whether I'll maybe do a few hampers through the year of the items or do a big hamper at the end of the year. I'm not quite sure yet, but it's really important to me to do that. I want to give back to the community in some way. And I just feel very heartbroken for people who are struggling. I know people are really struggling to afford to eat at the moment, especially with the cost of energy going up and just the cost of living crisis. And my heart really goes out to people who are struggling to be able to eat. And I mean, it's just terrible that that is even a situation that can happen to people in this day and age. There's something so wrong that the inequality gap's getting wider and wider, and yeah, it's really unfair. So if I can try and do something, it's only something very small, but I want to be able to give in some way that hopefully it can help someone out there in some small way. It's better than nothing, and at this point it's something I can realistically stick to, that I feel I'm giving in some way, especially as I won't be going to charity shops this year, except for when I'm on holiday and I've got my £10 a day spending budget. If I feel like I'd like to look in a charity shop, then that's okay. So that's falls under the third category of what I've got here. So for the second part, the second prong in my three-prong approach is about having monthly sinking funds. So these are spending allowances month by month, which again, there are rules, there are specific tight budget amounts within those categories of those sinking funds. So the biggest challenge, I think, for me will be the socialising, £10 a month only for socialising. But I want to challenge myself because there are many things that you can do to socialise with people that don't have to cost a lot. You know, my friends love when it's not treacherous and icy, that is. My friends like to go for walks. We'll meet up, maybe I'll visit them or they'll visit me, and I can make sure I've got biscuits in. Going for a coffee or meeting up and bringing our own coffee, visiting a museum, free community events. You know, it will be a good way to get creative and find some new ideas for things to do at the end of the day. Or meet up for lunch, but just have a bowl of soup rather than a big meal, because going out for food has become way too expensive. So, or meet up in the pub in Wetherspoons and have a pint or two. It's only about £2.50 a pint. So that's totally doable. And it's about £1.20 still only for a hot drink in Wetherspoons, and you get free refills. So there are ways. And at the end of the day, my friends will be supportive, and it's a way to be a bit creative and challenge ourselves and have a bit of fun, and be sensible about things. But having said that, I'm allowing myself this £15 a month day trip fund, which that can overlap. So maybe if I'm visiting someone who lives quite far away or something, or going up to the city to see a friend, and I could utilise that budget. So there's a wee bit of flexibility built in. And then the third, but still within the confines of a set amount, and I definitely think I can do that, and it will challenge me in a positive way to stay on track. The third is also sinking funds. It's probably quite hard to see. Also sinking funds related, an allotted allocated budget, but each month building up in that sinking fund towards an annual allowance for something very specific. So I'm planning ahead. Basically, I'm trying to plan ahead here for scenarios that I know are very likely to come up that are going to cost me, but I know roughly what the set amount is. I either have set myself an amount or I know approximately what to budget for it. So for example, the vets for Bella, having a set amount for 3 nights away, probably for my birthday. But it can be very, very low budget wee trip away, and it'll be lovely. It doesn't have to cost much, and I've got set rules about what I can spend and how much I'm allowing myself each day to spend and this sort of thing. And it's realistic, but it's sensible and it's achievable. Smart goals. So, and also, for example, I'm trying to have a think what other examples there are. Yeah, my swimming, I've got a set amount to save up so that I know I'm able to have a swimming pass, and then that way I can enjoy swims, unlimited swims, and all the other exercise I do will be free. So, and I mentioned earlier on some different examples of those kind of funds, but anyway, I've got things laid out very clearly for myself of how I'm going to approach this, giving myself the best chance to succeed, setting myself up for a good, positive, no-spend year. So speaking of calling it a no-spend year, I'd be really interested to hear. Please make a wee comment in the comments section below. Let me know how you would describe this. Would you call it a no-spend? Would you call it a partial no-spend? Would you call it a low spend? because in some ways it is like a low spend, but to me, I class it as a no spend for me personally, because I feel like if I were to, I mean, it could be pared down more, but if I were to pare it down more, I feel like it would become unrealistically um, kind of structured and unattainable. And I've got to think about my well-being throughout this year, you know, by being miserable and having absolutely no breathing space to live, it's more likely that I would give up and spend money on something I don't need or want. Um, Also, it's impossible. Where do you draw the line on the continuum, you know? Because it's actually impossible to have a complete no spend year, because we've still got to feed ourselves, we've still got to be able to travel for essential journeys or commutes or that sort of thing, bills. These things are unavoidable, so we can't have a complete no spend. So I personally feel that there are no right or wrong answers with this. Even just thinking about these things and being conscious about it and being motivated to try this kind of thing, I think is wonderful. And I think it's so awesome for anyone that's considering this kind of thing. Just go for it, and you do it the way that feels right for you. So, and if you found this useful, valuable, helpful, interesting, then it would mean so much if you were to like and subscribe if you wish, because there'll be lots more videos coming out with this kind of thing. It's lovely to be able to share these ideas and different inspiration and put that out there, and hopefully it will reach like-minded people, or it will spark some interest for people who are just beginning to explore these ideas. And thank you so much again for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.